Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Farrar. I am the CIO for the city of Westerville, but even more so, I am a dad. I am Tanja's friend. That actually is an honor right there. I should have a badge, a LinkedIn badge or something. I'm a father of two. I have a wife who's English. I met her in England. So I've got family across 2 continents. I've got aging parents. I am a bowler. I've been doing that my whole life, 37 years now, and still active with that. I've recently had surgery. I'm a community leader, and I like to try and just be a friend with people. It's a little bit about me, but what I'm here today to talk to you about is something that inspired me. And it inspired me in the IT Leaders course. So this is my book. I'm going to have Will Shatner do it on Audible for you, so watch out for there. But the relentless pursuit of level 5 leadership. When I was in the IT Leaders class, I had been a leader, internationally and domestically across many organizations. And I was trying to figure out my groove, my stance, how I could work. And I didn't find anything that really resonated to me till I came across this concept of level 5 leadership. So for those who don't know what level 5 leadership is, there's a book out there called Good to Great. And it's written by Jim Collins, and he touches on this. And they actually cover this in the IT Leaders class about this idea of level 5 leadership. And really, it is about being a really great leader across multiple facets. And I'm going to jump ahead one slide and I'm going to come back. It's across this hierarchy, this 5 levels of being a leader. So go all the way down from being a highly capable individual, being good at your job, doing what you need to do, all the way up to being the executive. And Tanja touched on it. Maybe you were as a leader, you made it a manager because you were the best architect, you were the best security person, you were the best project manager. But you have to be able to have more than just that, especially if you're looking into level 5 leadership. You have to have this idea of humility and professional will. So professional will, it is that fierce, unwavering resolve to do whatever it takes to achieve ending greatness for the organization. That's key part. It's outward. It's towards the organization. You're along for the ride. You're helping maybe drive the bus, but the bus is the organization. That's the most important piece that you're working on with your group. And then professional humility. Quiet. Most people know me. I'm not quiet. But quiet, unassuming nature of the leader who spurs personal channels of ambition to create awesome, amazing things for the cause of the organization, being humble, not taking necessarily credit, putting the team first. So let's dissect this a little bit. So, this idea of having this fanatical, fierce determination to achieve results, for your organization, putting the organization first, making sure you're aligning with them, and helping remove the obstacles for your team. I always tell people I'm the jackhammer. You work on what you need to do. You hit a boulder, I'm going to come in, I'm going to nail it, I'm going to get it out of the way. Or I'm going to find a way to get around it. But we are going to keep moving forward. I want them to keep being awesome professionals. I want to help them lead around these obstacles. Ambitions for the cause. I'm going to talk about this a little bit later because I had a conflict with it. So personal ambitions for the company's success and not own personal gain. Being the one to help drive success for the organization without worrying about yourself. Because if you're doing your job great and you're delivering success, it's going to resonate with the team. It's going to resonate with your organization. Your CEO, your city manager in my case, is going to see that you're delivering these results. And you're going to get the recognition regardless whether you want it. But we'll talk more about that here in a minute. Setting up successors for success. if you are successful and you are the leader and you don't have 2 people behind you, because in IT we like to do things, why have 1 when you can pay for 2 for twice the price? You need redundancy. So you need to have 2 leaders behind you, okay? Not just 1, because that 1 person is pretty awesome. And guess what? They have ambitions, they're gonna want to have goals, and they can move on to another job that's maybe paying more, or maybe has a great opportunity presented to them. Then you're stuck. So always have 2 successors, but have successors for your successors. Create that line and build into them and go down to the lower levels and help cultivate that leadership throughout the organization. And an unwavering commitment to do what's best and put long-term results out there. Put your North Star, telling people where we're going to help them bring them along. So getting into the humility side of things, shuns public attention. Now, when people look at me, they would say there's no way that I would ever shun public attention. But I would say that when I do it, I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it for a cause. I'm doing it to help elevate the community. I'm a mechanism. I am a loudspeaker to be able to help tell the message. I don't care if I get any recognition on anything that I do with Tech Life or Ohio X or any of these things when you see me speaking. I want to be out there helping advocate for all the things that we're working on and support the organizations. So I kind of flip that a little bit, even though I am, if you look at a DISC assessment, I'm a high I. I'm very out there, and I like to be engaged with everybody. So I'm using that mechanism to help support my level 5 ambitions. Quiet, calm, determination. So motivating people, working with your team, and inspiring them. Not being out there and being crazy and flamboyant and being loud or anything like that. Showing them that there is a path, but making it personal. Being able to be on the same level as your team and working with them, but doing it when something bad happens. Sitting down, having a conversation. We missed the mark. Let's not make it happen again. Not coming in and yelling and throwing things or anything like that. Nobody wants to be in that room with that leader. So you have to be there and make everything human, and you have to work with your team on the same level because you're owning anything that's happening, whether it's a success or it's not, you're with that team. And then also focusing on the organization. Again, everything is working towards making the organization successful, for your team to be successful, and you get to go along for the ride. So when looking at level 5 leadership, I also came across this idea of the window and the mirror. So when things are going right, you're looking out the mirror, and looking out the window. So you're looking and putting everything out. You're having success. It was the team that did it. They're the ones who did the work. They're the ones who gave the success. You may be the leader to say, we're going to go direction this, we're going to do this, or you made a decision to save money by switching this organization. It was a win for the organization, but it was the team. The team who was supporting you to be successful was the ones who do it. So you have to look outside the window, and you need to credit those others and the external factors, not yourself. But the mirror is when things go wrong. You have to be looking in the mirror and taking full responsibility for whatever happens. We had a situation in Westerville. There was bad communication on an incident. It was something that, it was nothing major, but there was bad communication from my team. I was out, I had surgery, but when I came back and I sat with my leaders, I said, you know what? That's my bad. I did not put in the correct communication pieces on this, so my team knew what to do while I was out. Because if I was there, it would have been fine. But we hadn't gone through that practice, so that I owned that. But then I worked to resolve the situation and work through it. So always look back at yourself. So this is where I'm going to come back to my conflict about, not really striving for success for yourself. And I came across it, and I was talking with my friend Michael Fulton, and we were talking about how other people were being successful and having these opportunities come to them, and they were achieving greatness and moving into these next roles. And I was upset. I was like, well, I do a lot of this. Why not me? And then at the same time, my brain went, whoa, wait a minute. That's not that's not a good aspect of or a trait of a level 5 leader. So it can be, though. And it's not necessarily looking at it like it's bad that you don't, you have ambitions, but it's actually looking at what your self-worth is. So flipping the script on it and actually saying you can be a level 5 leader, but also you have to be looking at your own professional worth and how you can continue to drive being a level 5 leader and elevate yourself and get into these more successful situations with still being humble and still being somebody who's not going out there and looking to be on, saying, oh, I won all these awards, or I did all this great stuff. Look at me, it's great. No, it's still an opportunity for you to continue to be professional, grow with that, but also know what your internal worth is. So, understanding that humility isn't meekness. Okay, knowing that, knowing how you can still project yourself in a responsible way that is not putting you out there and saying, look at me, I did everything, but also it's a fuel. It's giving you the power to get through all these unpopular decisions and relentless pursuits of your own personal goals as well. So that was a hard lesson. It took me a real long time to figure that out. But now that I've understood that, that's been able to help me really turn and focus how I'm navigating being a level 5 leader, but then continuing to grow myself beyond in my current role and beyond when the next opportunity comes along. So getting to the digital era, we got this small thing nobody's really heard about. It's called AI. I think it's going to blow past. But a modern leader needs to understand how they can leverage AI in a leadership manner. So when you're looking at this, and because we're in constant change all the time as in IT, but even now it's even more impactful. It's changing even faster. We can still use those level 5 leaderships, going back to the core of the level 5 leadership principles to really be able to be successful. And it's not we should be thinking about it. It's essential. You have to go back to the basics. You have to go back to the basics of being a good leader to lead in an era of AI today. So we have the same two pieces, the personal humility and the professional will. So getting into those, humility in the world of AI. It's never a sign of weakness. It's actually it's a superpower for you to be adaptable and be able to handle change. So I think Tanja talked about it a little bit before. You need to be okay with not being the know-it-all. You have to empower your team members to be the ones, and maybe they are the subject matter experts influencing you. They have to be the one to sit there and walk in and say, hello, everybody, I'm the CIO, but I am not the smartest person in this room. I want you to help advise me on how we move forward. Bringing the conversation down a whole nother level and bringing it in to being more of engaging with your team, making it more of a teammate rather than a hierarchically, I'm the manager, you're the subordinate. Trusting the experts. I know I've got 3 experts on my team, and if they look at me and say, Michael, this is the path forward, and we need to be looking at this particular piece of technology or using this AI model, I'm going to trust them. I'm going to do my research, and I'm going to help validate it, but I want them to take me along for the ride. I'm like, tell me about it. Let me learn more. But I trust my experts. I've allowed them to validate it. And this is a key part of being a level 5 leader, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But trusting the experts and making sure that you're empowering them to do the right thing and trusting they're going to do the right work. And then now, instead of just giving credit to the people, but also giving credit to the data sets and giving the making sure that can articulate that we are making data-driven decisions utilizing the new AI technology and models to empower our teams to be more effective, more professional, and be able to get the right decisions to move forward and get the right information to our leaders and above. So from the professional will side, this has been very important to me. And actually, I think, I'm going to say this, I think everybody should go and be a public servant. either in a university, like teaching, or work with your local government, because you learn so much. And it also gives you this idea of ethics, which everybody talks about ethics, but until you go in and you practice it on a daily basis, and you are held accountable for everything that you do, and you have 40,000 residents that are looking to you because you're being held accountable for their data and their information, you have to be ethical on all levels, everything you do. And this has been a huge help in me identifying and becoming more, working towards being a level 5 leader. You have to also look at changes, and you have to look at how we can adopt these changes utilizing AI and allow automation to help support the team to do the things that they need to do. Also, focusing on a long-term flywheel. So in the Good to Great books, they talk about the idea of the flywheel, this continuous drive, and you have to push the flywheel and it goes very slow, and you're working to engage with the team and driving results, and then it comes back, when you get back to the top of the flywheel, you do the process again, and you practice again, and again, you grow momentum, and continuing to go faster till it's actually running on its own. So continuing to focus on the long-term flywheel. Don't lose sight of the cool, shiny object over here that's doing this. Maybe it becomes its own flywheel, its own initiative, but making sure the core operations and everything that you do are still operational, and coming back to that and supporting that as a level 5 leader. And we have to talk about, when we talk about this leadership, of course, I've spoke about it a few times, the human element. You have to bring the human element in. If you're not being human, you're allowing the machines to make your decisions for you. If you're not being a human to your own colleagues, understanding the challenges they have because they're feeling pressures, but also being human and allowing your team members to see you as a person. Seeing me as a dad, not just the CIO, knowing I've got a kid that's sick, or I've got I own a house, so I've got a broken pipe. I got to go and I need to have the support, but being able to pass that back to them. So the qualities of humility and the will to act helps the leaders grow continuously in keeping people in the loop. So, 2 things that we've talked about a lot. 1, trust. You have to continue to have trust as a level 5 leader in everything you do. And you have to make sure you have the right people on your team, or develop the right people to have that level of trust. So you got the right people on the team, then you know where you're going, and you trust in those people. Also, you build a culture with this trust. Culture is key. Ton just said it. You leave an organization because of a bad leader, or a bad culture, or of the organization. You don't leave because of the work. The work is good. The work's hard. You got to do it wherever you go. But it's the leadership, it's the culture, and you have to develop that and continue to support it. So these 2 things go hand in hand. So making sure you're building a culture of discipline, earning and maintaining trust, and again, investing into your successors and creating a legacy of building people who are on the same team, on the boat. They're building successors underneath them in the same leadership style that you want to. So when you move on, that you continue to move forward and things continue to grow. So I know that's been a really quick whirlwind trip of my development into level 5 leadership, but it's something that it's a practice. It's something that you'll never, ever be able to say, I've achieved this, or the journey is over. It continues to go no matter what. It is very tiring. It's very engaging, and you have to be able to pivot, and it's not simple. But if it was simple, we'd all be doing it, and then we'd all be level 5 leaders, and then we'd be also achieving for this next piece. But it resonated, level 5 leadership really, really resonated with me. I think it's helped me become an even better leader, not only for my role as a CIO of a community here in the city of Westerville, but it's helped me support the greater IT community. It's helped me become a better friend to my colleagues and also my personal friends, but also try and be a better father, husband, and overall general person. So it's not just one thing to do it as a CIO or as a leader. It's a lifestyle change as well. So with that, I want to thank you for the time.
One question. You were out for a short period of time from your office on some personal matters. Were you nervous that you'd approach entropy while you were gone, or?
No,
Okay.
I was not. When I came in to my role with the city, the first thing I did, and I even told this to my boss, they looked at me and said, "What are you going to do in the first 90 days?" And I said, "Absolutely nothing. I'm not going to do a thing. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to watch. I'm going to talk. I'm going to learn. I'm going to meet with people. I'm going to have a lot of coffee. Luckily, I like coffee. With all the things I got to do, caffeine is my friend. But I wanted to get to know the people. I wanted to learn the personalities. I wanted to meet all the different organizations, the different departments and how they operated. So when we came in, I could build all of that into my model and creating that support for when these situations happen, that I can sit back and say, I'm at a conference in Las Vegas. My team's got it. You know, they'll call me if something goes wrong, if they escalate it. And I was out. I was completely out. I did have, I had surgery, and I was completely out for 6 weeks, which is scary when you think about it from a leadership perspective. It's like, what's going to happen with my team? But I talked to my team about it. I was transparent through the whole time. Everyone, I'm in excruciating pain. So you're not going to see me skipping down the hallway, coming in and saying, hey, how's your day? Because I'm probably going to be medicated and hunched over to be able to take care of the pain. But this is what's going to happen. I will be out. I'm going to have these surgeries. I'm going to be doing these things. And this is how the support network is going to happen. This is what we're going to do in these absences. And does anybody have any questions, or does anybody think this is the worst idea in the world? And I ask that question every time I present something. I'm like, here's my idea. These are the things we want to work on. This is our mission. This is our values. What did I miss? Where am I wrong? And I don't care if it's a help desk person, or I don't care if it's my deputy director. They all have a seat at the table. They're all helping influencing the organization, and we all grow together. Because now I've got everybody on board. So when we say we're heading that direction, I know I got the right people on the bus with me, and they're all sitting in the right seats, and we can go anywhere and do anything.
Good. We've got time for one or two more questions. If anybody has one for Michael.
Steve.
Here we go. All right. So, last 9 years, right here in this room, or this adjacent room, a lot of presentations we've been in, a lot of great leaders. Okay? But today was the first time we weaved in something pretty important into a leadership discussion.